Aloha, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube and all my viewers and subscribers. Just want to say welcome. I got one more subscriber. That makes 77, I believe. Let me check my status here real quick. I think it's either 77 or 78. Either way, welcome to my show. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. And I am telling you right now, you are going to love everything you hear from this channel because I speak the truth about all the cases because I read from here, right here. David Paulides' Missing 411 book, A Sobering Coincidence. I love this book. I love all the stories, even though they're creepy as heck. Okay, let's see what we got here. 1 second here, just got to see.
My shoulder will
yep,
pop every time
78 subscribers. So welcome to the, I think I had 77 yesterday, so welcome to the new one. All right, today I'm going to get right into it. Today's story is going to be about Eric Blair. Eric Blair, he went missing on 10/20/2001 at 12:30 a.m. in Lansing, Michigan. Another Lansing, Michigan disappearance. That's a lot. Okay, he was 18 years old when he disappeared. Now, this is another incident where a student from one campus is visiting friends at another campus and disappears. Eric Blair was from Bay City, Michigan, and attended Delta College. He traveled to Lansing to visit friends at Michigan State University. On October 19th, 2001, Eric went to his friends with his friends to a party at Holden Hall on the campus of Michigan State University. He paid a fee to enter the party. Eric was only 18 years old and apparently had a significant amount to drink. Just after midnight on October 20th, Eric and a group of friends went for a walk. They were near the Red Cedar River. Then they happened onto another group that everyone knew. It was sometime during this meeting that Eric disappeared. Nobody seemed to know exactly where he went or how he was not seen. The group looked for him for about an hour and then went back to their rooms. Eric was reported missing the next day. The police investigation showed that someone claimed to have seen what was believed to be a body in the river sometime after Eric disappeared. That was quick. Okay, this was never confirmed because it wasn't reported in a timely manner. The police put divers into the river and used sonar during a 34-hour search for Eric. On October 23rd, sonar found his body in 10 feet of water near the Cedar Village apartment complex adjacent to the river. A dive team recovered the body and sent it to the coroner's office for autopsy. A medical examiner made a finding that Eric died of accidental drowning with a blood alcohol level of 0.14%. Eric's mother, Connie Licavoli, started a barbecue fundraiser in Eric's name for a scholarship fund. Eric James Blair Memorial Scholarship Fund has awarded other 37 scholarships in the Bay City area. Okay, now that's creepy. That's really creepy because, first of all, he was attending a party in another city with some friends. So he was coming from Bay City, Michigan, and attended Delta College. He traveled to Lansing to visit friends at Michigan State University. Now, when they left the party after he had a significant amount of drinks, they were walking to wherever it was they were walking to. And then they met up with another group. Oh, jeez. He just hated when the saliva goes down the wrong pipe. They can't stand that. Anyway, so between the point where they meet up with another group and them walking to wherever they were walking to, he was obviously in the back of this group and somehow was taken at that point by whatever took him. He just disappeared from sight. Everybody was facing this way, but he got taken from behind them, so they weren't even looking at him at that point. Now, if you walking with somebody and you next to a person and you in the back of everybody, I would think that person would at least look around, not even just looking this way. Let's just say Eric was right here, but yet you here, but you looking over there or you looking straight. If you have good peripheral vision, you're going to see something out of the corner of your eye, right? You're going to see the guy walking right next to you. Obviously, that didn't happen. Their peripheral vision sucked, obviously. But how is it that you could be in a large group like that and you in behind this group, but still within the cluster, but you still vanish without a trace and vanish right in the middle of a group? How does that even happen? So obviously, whatever is taking these people cloaked that boy, and they took him just like that within seconds. And you were in a group, and they just, for some reason, they said that we somehow lost track of him. He was in a group with you. How you lose track of him? It was two big groups. I don't know how many people it was in each group, but it was a group of people, and they all traveled in a big bunch. But yet you, out of all the people that they were traveling with, disappears. Okay, now I can tell you right now, whenever me and my friends back when I was a teenager traveled from one town to another, or went to someone's house, or went to the park, whatever, we all traveled in a big pack. Okay, there was none of that. Oh, that person somehow vanished without a trace, and we never realized how he could just disappear like that. We didn't see him when he just disappeared. Now, if he backed up and decided he wasn't gonna go, and they thought that he was still there, how is it that you were in the group? Yeah, one guy here, and you're here, and that person didn't see you. They didn't hear you. They didn't hear nothing. They just kept moving, and everybody was so wrapped up in their conversation. Obviously, the guy just disappeared, and they knew that they weren't gonna pay attention to it. So by them being teenagers, and they just took him without a gun. Very, 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 very weird story. I said I didn't say I was gonna creep you out, but I wanted to creep you out, because that right there is insanely creepy. I mean, you actually in a group and you still disappear. Now, did he fall behind? I don't know. Did he have to tie his shoe, catch his breath? I mean, how you gonna catch your breath when you're walking? Now, I can imagine if you were running to wherever place they were going to, you would have to stop and catch your breath and all that stuff, and then catch up to him. But that wasn't the case. They were walking in that group. And somehow, by him being in behind, he was obviously behind the group. Okay, he was probably one of the last people in the group. And somehow they were just so focused on going in that direction. They had tunnel vision. They were doing all that talking, like all teenagers do. And they took him at the right moment when nobody was paying attention. And poof, he was gone. Very, very creepy, so far. And then what's really crazy, he disappears. Now, he did say that the times of when all this happened, especially when someone said they saw a body in the river, the time of when they called it in saying they think they saw a body was never confirmed. So that really, you can't really say that he just ended up in the river like that within the same night, dead, without an ounce of evidence of him being killed on the body. I don't know. But that's what it said. His blood alcohol level was 0.14%, so he was drinking. Now, still, my problem is, how did he end up disappearing in a crowd that big? I would think that somebody next to him would have seen him, unless everybody was walking in the front and he was directly behind everybody. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I couldn't really tell you. But I can tell you one thing: that's just insane. It's creepy, very spooky. I would not want to be traveling in a group, this time, like these days. I couldn't do it. But yeah, that's all I got on that story. It's definitely creepy, definitely. But all things aside, with stuff like that going on, the idea is trying to figure something out, and that's the hardest part, because there's no evidence to state what actually happened. They just know that the boy vanished without a trace within the group. That's the part that really gets me right there. He vanished in a group. So obviously they didn't see him. How? I don't know. That's, that right there just boggles the mind. But on my next story, once again, like I always say, or at least try to always say in every video, I want everybody to join me, become intrigued as I case read the 411 baffling unsolved cases of hundreds of random people from clusters all over the globe who mysteriously vanish without a trace and are either never seen again or found hundreds of miles away from their last known location, dead, gone, under very, very, very mysterious circumstances. Ooh, spooky. But anyway, this next story is about 27-year-old Stephen Mbidzo. That's Mbidzo. Mbidzo. Or Bids. Well, I would think Mbidzo because normally it's the second letter in a last name like that that's actually silent. So now he went missing on 03/13/2009 at 5 p.m. in West Lansing, Michigan. Another Michigan boy. And notice it's all boys here, no females. It's crazy. Okay. Like I said before, he was 27 years old when he disappeared. Now, this is the first case I've written about involving an individual born on the African continent. Okay. I'm guessing maybe he's black or he's a white guy that was born on a white young man that was born on the African continent. Who knows? As stated in an April 14, 2009 article in the Bay City Times, Mbidzo, born in in Harare, Zimbabwe. Okay, that's a Harare. Sorry, I'm just not very good with these kind of names. But anyway, I'm only human, right? Okay, let me see. Mbidzo, born in Zimbabwe, graduated from Prince Edward High School in Zimbabwe, where he played rugby and enjoyed cricket. He earned his associate's degree from Mid-Michigan Community College in Harrison and had taken nursing classes at Saginaw Valley State University. Mbidzo was an award-winning artist, engaging to Shingiri Jimwa of Grand Rapids. Oh boy, okay. Shingirai. I don't know. Anyway, Shingirai Jimwa of Grand Rapids in obituary states. Okay. This is one of those cases where I received the original Michigan State Police and Clinton County Police, Clinton County Sheriff's reports. I was amazed at how inaccurately various websites and articles describe this incident, even getting his name wrong. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I can confirm that the following facts were derived directly from official reports. Okay, on March 31st, 2009, Hilda Mbidzo went to a Michigan State police post and reported that her son Stephen Mbidzo was missing. She explained that she had last seen her son on February 27, 2009, but that she had done follow-up work and confirmed that another man had seen him on March 13th. Police were giving contact information for Stephen's pregnant girlfriend, Shingirai Jimwa. I hate these weird names. I know it's a name for that person, but I apologize if I really butchered that name. Just be trying to sound it out so I can get it right. Okay. Police contacted the girlfriend and confirmed that she was 8 months pregnant with his baby. They were informed that Stephen had gone to a wedding during the weekend of March 6th. He never came back to her apartment after the wedding, but did call her on March 11th. Shingirai, I'm still trying to get that right, told the police that Stephen worked for Lamar Sign Company and was in good standing with the owner. The company confirmed that he never showed up for work after the wedding. Here we go again. Shingirai gave the police contact information for the individual who was last with Stephen on March 13th. I will call this individual Paul. Okay. I don't want to give out his name, so of course, you don't want to do that. Okay. Michigan State Police contacted Paul, and he agreed to respond to the post for an interview. The interview, by all accounts, went well. Paul stated that he was with Stephen on the evening of March 13th. He stated that the two drove around in Paul's car smoking marijuana and looking for an area to park and smoke. He stated that He stated that he dropped him off on the west side of Lansing or in the area of Delta Township. He wasn't sure. Here is a quote from the police report. He advised he ultimately dropped him at an area where the houses were far apart. The driveways were long and the terrain hilly. Paul said that Stephen stated he wanted to meet some people, but didn't want to drive up to the residence. I guess because it's so long, but still, why not? That makes no sense. He was eventually dropped on the roadway. Paul was the last person to see Stephen alive. On April 9th, 2009, the Clinton County Sheriff was dispatched to the area of the Eaton Highway in Grand Ledge, Michigan. A resident stated that she had seen what she thought was a torso in the Grand River. I hope that's just part of the body sticking up out of the water. This area of the river was very slow moving and heavily wooded. She called a friend to confirm her observation and then called the sheriff. A dive team subsequently responded and recovered the body of a black male. So he was African American and born in Zimbabwe. Okay. There was mud covering the body and no clothing, just socks. Wow, so that means he was completely naked except for his socks. Whew, just like all the other cases. Now, this is like the first story I've read in a while that actually listed that he was partially naked, but just had his socks on. Now, some of the other stories did read some of that, but a large portion of the stories going into the book, they always just kept saying that they found the body. They wouldn't mention that he was either half naked with just socks on or just underwear on. They just said they found the body, and they would say, okay, he died from hypothermia and accidental drowning or whatever the case may be. This is the first story I read in a while that stated that he was half naked or naked with just nothing but socks on. Weird. Okay, finally getting to those points. I like that. Okay. The medical examiner confirmed through fingerprints that the body was that of Stephen Mbidzo. The autopsy concluded that Stephen had a blood alcohol level between 0.10 and 0.12%, with the finding of THC marijuana in the body. The ME determined that there was not enough evidence to determine the cause of death. He did not find any marks of violence on the body. He did place the date of death as 3/13/09 or later. The autopsy was conducted on April 10, 2009. I did have a lengthy conversation with Detective Sergeant Fritz Sandberg of the Clinton County Sheriff's Office, the official who handled this case. As any good law enforcement officer would do, he focused on the last person to see Stephen. He stated that Paul was looked at seriously. The sergeant then stated that that one of his best friends, a retired law enforcement officer and now a polygraph examiner, performed a polygraph exam on Paul. The sergeant stated that if anyone else had conducted the exam, he would have questioned the results but not this time. The exam showed that Paul was telling the truth and played no part in Stephen's disappearance or death. Sergeant Sandberg's belief that there is not a suspect in this case indicates that this is a very unusual case. How did Stephen disappear? To me, how did he disappear that fast? And he was with a group, two groups to be exact. How did his clothes come off? Yeah, that's another good one. Where were his clothes? The distance from where Stephen was last seen to where he was eventually found was not a lot, maybe a few miles. The fact that the Grand River in this area is very slow moving makes the fact that he had no clothes that much more remarkable. Remember, there were no marks on the body indicating violence. There was no definitive case of death, a key point in many of these cases. Whew. Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I still say that is like the weirdest part of this whole case, because just like the other guy, he goes out with a couple of friends, and all of a sudden in that group he seems to have disappeared, which makes no sense whatsoever to me. How you be in a group and you vanish without a trace? In the group, like as if, okay, their eyes was so focused on what was ahead of them and what they were talking about, they didn't notice the guy standing next to the other guy had just vanished without a trace. You look, he's there, you look, and you look back, he's gone. But nobody said anything until they realized after the fact that he was gone. And this was probably way after the fact. Okay, but see, in Stephen's case, pretty much the same thing. College boy goes to a wedding and he doesn't come back. So somewhere between him going to the wedding and supposedly coming back to his girlfriend's apartment, he vanishes without a trace at that point. Now, they just mentioned the fact that he went to a wedding. They didn't say what was going on at the wedding. Did he get drunk? Did he meet somebody there that may have something to do with his dad? They just said he went to a wedding, and that's it. So obviously the information that they probably could have gotten from the wedding, the people at the wedding never turned up. So then again, they probably just say, well, we never saw him there. I mean, I heard that he was coming, but we never saw him. So, okay, how you not see him come to the party? That makes no sense. I'm pretty sure he had a guest list, right? He might have been on the guest list, but still, nobody saw him whatsoever. But why they didn't mention what might have been going on at the party, I don't know. Did they interview those people at the party, at the wedding? I don't know. He didn't mention that part, so maybe they didn't. But yeah, very strange stuff, people. I wanted to make sure that I boggled your mind so that you could get a good idea of what's going on with these cases. And that's my job. That's what I do. That's what I did, especially with that first one. That Eric Blair, that was crazy. You in a group, and then within that group, you vanish. Now, like I said, did he fall behind? Don't know that. Was he just standing next to a guy and it just happened to just vanish without a trace? If he was so focused on what was in front of him and the people that he might have been talking to that they didn't even notice that he just vanished. Okay, and I can understand if you focus on this little group right here and you talking to him, so your head ain't even nowhere near him. You facing this way, you facing that group on this side, and then all of a sudden, poof, you vanish. They knew the right they knew the right time to take him, and that was when nobody was looking, and it took them just that fast to where they wouldn't even realize it until the last second, So he disappeared in a group. He didn't fall behind, obviously. He didn't get ahead either. He was right next to him, and he still vanished. So for them to take him that fast and you not even looking, they always know the right time when to take someone. They wait until everybody is focused on whatever it is they focus on. And then they say, okay, here we go. We can grab him right now. Boom. They take him. And that's it. You never seen him again until you turn up dead in a river with no sign of death on the body, which is the strangest part of all these cases. Why isn't there a sign of death on the body? No bullet holes, no stab wounds, no strangulation marks, no drugs in the system. Unless you were drinking, that's about the only thing. Or if you were smoking weed, like, Stephen Mbidzo. That's all you find. You don't find evidence of a person being killed in any of these cases. Okay? Very, very, very strange stuff, people. But that's my time on those videos. I got more coming as usual, so stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled and keep your ears open for any of my notifications of my next video. So I am going to cut this here. I'm going to chill out for the rest of the night, and I am going to just rest because the man's got a big day tomorrow. He's got to go to work, like I said. If I can, I will try to post a video tomorrow. And so, I will see you guys later. Peace.